Hi there, it's Stephanie. So this screener is going to talk about a combination of a couple different effects that I've already talked about previously in terms of images and layering, where the background image or a faraway image is typically blurred and the closest part of the image is typically nice and clear and crisp. And then you have layers in between that create a sense of depth, and you use shadows as well. So you can see in the slide that's on the screen here that there are three groups of three objects, and inside each group there's a gray object which is clearly behind the white object, which is clearly behind the dark black object. So you can definitely see that there are three different layers going on, and you can see this just very simply because there's shadows that are being used, but also the lighting effects between the boxes is creating that illusion as well, or aiding it. Now if we add a motion path animation to these boxes and we use staggering speeds on those motions, then we'll also create a 3D animated motion effect too. So let me show you what this looks like. Oops, wrong slide, there we go. So you can see that the boxes are beginning to animate, and you can see that the gray boxes animate faster than the white boxes that animate faster than the black boxes. Let me play that back one more time. And if you just study the motion there and just kind of look in the center of the screen as this is going on, you can really see that there is a sense of depth that's being created, or an illusion of depth that's created just in that varying motion, and also the color treatments of the boxes. So that's the concept, and the terminology is ParallelX is what it's technically called. Now let's go to the next slide and show you another effect on this. It's the exact same principle. We've got different staggering motion effects. So the background bubbles are blurred, they are farther away, foreground bubbles are clear, and then there's this little path in the middle. So if I continue on, you can see that the background bubbles are moving at a different speed than the path in the middle is, and a different speed than what the bubbles at the front are. So it doesn't matter if the back one's faster or slower, just what matters is that you've got a staggering amount of speed in your animation to create the effect. And then let me show you one more. And here it's already starting, this animation's come in, and you can see that the clouds in the very background are blurred. There's a cityscape that's sitting on front of those clouds. There's also some clouds that have the illusion that they're closer to us, and then there's the cars that are even closer than the clouds. And so basically this is four layers: cars, near clouds, city, and far clouds. And each layer has its own animation speed. And if I just play this back, you can kind of see that it's creating this illusion of depth just by the very fact of the way that the images have been treated and the speed of the animation. So it's really quite cool that what you can do, and you can use this in e-learning in a number of different ways. You know, to create obviously an animated visual, but you can also use that for steps like I've done here, step-by-step instructions, or an introduction to a section, all sorts of different possibilities. But the concept here is relatively simple, what I've already talked about, and we'll just break it down with this one slide here. You can see that the slide contains four sets of objects. So you've got the far clouds that are blurred, you've got the buildings, you've got the near clouds that are clear and a little bit larger than the far clouds, and then you've got the cars that are at the front. Each one of these sets of images goes beyond the slide itself. Here's the end of the slide here, and the reason why is because each one has a motion path, as you can see here, and they come in. So I don't want just the motion path of the cars to come in and then it ends at the yellow car as the yellow car drives off. So I repeated the cars so it created a sense of constant motion. So it's just one big long graphic instead. And then you can see the animations that are associated with each. So you've got the cars. They're at the very top layer. The animation on this one is going a little bit faster than the animation of the buildings, which is going a bit faster than the animation of the clouds, which is going a bit faster than the far clouds. So I've just kind of staggered the animation. Sometimes I go the bottom layer is the slowest or the fastest, and then go to slow, or then I go slow to fast. So it doesn't really matter so long as you stagger it and use layers, and then you treat each of those layers slightly different, like what you're seeing here in this example. So hopefully you find that interesting, a little bit more technically challenging than some of the other ones, but really fun and cool effects. Thanks.